Hey everyone, so in this video we are going to solve systems of linear equations by elimination method. So as you can see, this is the system that is given right here. For the elimination method, we add the two equations that is given in such a way that we are able to eliminate one of the variables here. And it can be either variable, it could be either x or it could be either y. It doesn't really matter. You get the exact same answer as long as you do the correct math here. For this particular problem, I'll show you this problem by both ways, by eliminating y variable and solving the entire system, and then we'll do the exact same problem by eliminating the x variable. So whenever you try to eliminate one of the variable, you are looking at the coefficient. So like my coefficient that I have here is -14 and my coefficient right here is -7. Since we are trying to eliminate the y variable right here, what you're trying to get here is you're trying to get the exact same number for the coefficient with the opposite sign. So for example, if I have -14 here, then I want +14 here, so that when I add them, then I'm able to eliminate the y variable here. So it depends on the problem. Sometimes you either only have to multiply one of the equations by a number. Sometimes you have to multiply both the equations by some number so that you get the same coefficient with the opposite signs. So since I already have -14 here and I have -7 here, if I want to get +14 in the place of -7, then I need to multiply -7 by -2, because -7 times -2 would be +14. And so that's what I'll do. Right here we'll multiply this first equation by -2, the entire equation. Whatever you do, it has to be with the entire equation. So -x times -2, that will give you 2x. -7 times -2, that's +14y, equals to 14 times -2, that is -28. And then the second equation will just keep as it is, which is -4x minus 14y, that equals to 28. And then we're gonna add them. So 2x minus 4x is -2x, 14y minus 14y, that is just 0, that equals to -28 plus 28, that is also 0. So we get -2x equals to 0. We divide both sides by -2. Well, 0 over any number is always 0, and so we end up with x equals to 0. This x value we can plug in either of the two equations, either the first equation or the second equation. I'll plug it in into the first equation. You can do it in the second equation as well. So the first equation that I have is -x minus 7y, that equals to 14. I'm going to plug in x equals to 0 in here. So -0 minus 7y equals to 14. So we end up with -7y equals to 14, and then we divide both sides by -7. So we get y equals to -2. Again, we have to make sure that we check our solution. So we got x equals to 0, y equals to -2. So we have to make sure that it works for both of this equation that is given in the system. So let's check whether it works or not. So both of my equations are -x minus 7y equals to 14, and -4x minus 14y, that equals to 28. So let's plug in x equals to 0 and y equals to -2 here. So -7 times -2 equals to 14. Negative is positive, so 14 equals to 14, so it works here. Let's try in this one. So -4 times 0 minus 14 times -2 equals to 28. Well, negative times negative is positive, so -14 times -2 is positive 28, so it works for this one as well. And so it is our solution 0, -2. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, that I'll show you how to do this problem by eliminating the x variable first now. And so here are our equations. -x minus 7y equals to 14, and -4x minus 14y equals to 28. So if I want to eliminate the x variable now, then My coefficient right here is -4, so I want +4 here, so that when we add them, +4 and -4, they cancel each other out. And so since I have -4 here and I've got -1 here, then I need to multiply this -1 by -4 to get a +4. And so what we'll do is we'll multiply this entire equation that we have right here by -4. So negative times -4 is +4x, -7 times -4 is 28y, and 14 times -4 is -56. And then this equation we have -4x minus 14y equals to 28. And then we add them, so this gets cancelled, so 0. 28y minus 14y is plus 14y, that equals to -56, plus 28 is -28. So we get 14y equals to -28, and then we are going to divide both sides by 14. So what we get here is y equals to -2. Now since we get this y equals to -2, we are going to plug in this value in either of these two equations. Let's plug in the first equation. You can plug it in the second equation also, it's not going to change anything. So -x minus 7y equals to 14. So -x minus 7 times -2 equals to 14. So we get negative times negative is positive. So -x plus 14 equals to 14, and then we subtract 14 from both sides. So we get -x equals to 0. Then we divide both sides by -1, and so we get x equals to 0. So we got the exact same answer. I'm not going to do the check part because we have already done that when we actually eliminated the y variable first. And so here is your answer to this system, which is x is 0 and y is -2. So 0, -2. Okay, hope you like this video. Please subscribe to our channel.